Hey there, I'm Laura Newell, and today let's talk about minimalist homeschooling spaces. If you want to get super technical, minimalist homeschooling would be a couple of books and a library card and the outdoors. Most of us aren't that. So while our family does follow minimalist principles and we are always trying to declutter and have only the things that we need and no excess, which is the true definition of minimalism, with homeschooling, we do have a couple of spaces in our house that we keep simplified, and I think they are minimal, but they're not extremely minimal. So I wanted to show you these simplified minimal spaces and how we set things up in our homeschool. We don't have a homeschool room, so we have three little spaces in our house where we store things. This is our dining room, and so this is where the majority of the school books that we are using in our current school year are stored. I have these two carts here. This one is for my son, who's a toddler. This one's for my daughter. She is in elementary school. Up here we keep some fidgets and her math manipulatives, just little things up here that we can access as needed. And then I have each drawer labeled. So we have school supplies, her Bible materials, her language arts, math, history and geography, thinking skills, art, science and health, STEM, and then any library books that we have checked out. This is my basket where I keep my pens and books I'm reading, and then also some poetry books back here that we read. For my son, we have school supplies, which is basically his crayons, some teacher books, materials for me, language arts, math, motor skills, STEM, art, and emotional intelligence, basically just kits and things like that, and books and all that sorts of things. Then I have a 3 cube here. We have Tuttle Twin books, our reading books, keep my computer here, and then just some extra games and manipulatives, art, and things that just don't fit anywhere else. And then we either do school here at our dining room table or on the living room, kind of wherever, sometimes upstairs. Just we don't really have a particular space that we only do it. We kind of do it wherever because we're homeschoolers and that's what we can do. I have two spaces upstairs where I store things that we aren't currently using, and so I will show you that next. So while I keep the curriculum that we are currently using in each of our subjects downstairs in those drawers all neatly organized and easy to access, I do have two bookshelves upstairs where I store books. And so this bookshelf you see like down back here is some of our kids' books. But on this particular bookshelf are educational books. So a lot of our Usborne paper pie books are here. So a lot of history and science, things that necessarily aren't things that we use regularly, but that we do pull out to supplement something that we're studying, or maybe it is something that we're going to use in the future, or something that we've used in the past, but I'm keeping for between kids. Just all of that stuff is here. Again, here's some more Usborne books, a couple of study guides that I just want to keep on hand, some puzzles like our little junior geo sticks, more science books. Down on the bottom, I took all of our smart games from the past. So we've used Timberdoodle curriculum for years, and I love, love, love smart games. So these are all like our preschool ones. So this Little Red Riding Hood. I've taken them out of the big bulky boxes and put them in these bags. Three Little Piggies, Smart Farmer's Kindergarten, and then one of the Caterpillar Apple game that we got for preschool and kindergarten as well. So all of these just are in here to pull out anytime. And then I also have a bin of just our smaller games and puzzles. So most of these are just card games for math and stories, Canoodle Jr., Polka Dot, Imagine-Dice, toddler puzzles, maps. Like this just kind of holds all that little stuff that I especially do not want our toddler to get a hold of. It has to be stored up here because there's no place downstairs where he's not going to get into. So I just find it's easier to store it up here. The third and final place where we store things is really that more long-term storage. And this is curriculum that either my daughter has completed and I'm saving for my son, or the next level up that we haven't started yet. Books for the future. Some of the Usborne books that are just, again, not something that we're using right now, something that's going to be in the grades to come, or something that we have already used for preschool. I have a bin here of preschool specific materials and pre-K specific materials from Timberdoodle that I've just set aside and said, my son's not ready for this yet. I'm just going to put it away and then we'll get it out when he is ready. I also have some teacher books here and just my own, my own homeschool mom teacher resources. Puzzles and our reading curriculum that we're just not ready for yet, all stored up there. And then down here on the very bottom is office supplies, so binders and paper and notebooks, just other small office supply materials, my binding machine, all of that. There is technically a fourth area where I do keep like plastic bins of our building sets, STEM sets, things that we've gotten with curriculums, robot building, things like that. And those are stacked in this other room over here on a shelf, just in those plastic bins. But I don't really consider that school storage because we use them for so much more than school. They're just a part of our kids' toy collection. And I keep that with the other puzzles and toys that we have. So these are the real school materials, and that's the more extracurricular stuff. In my opinion, I view this as a pretty minimal setup. And because there is such an age gap between my two children, I'm going through things as my older child finishes things and kind of evaluating, like, are we going to use this again? And did this not work for us? And I get rid of those old workbooks. I pull out a few pages for samples, and the rest of them I do throw out. I don't keep them. I do keep teachers' books that I'm going to use again and things like that. And then I love more like these reference book, Usborne books, those types of things that really can just span the length of time with your family. I am always going through this stuff, and our homeschool group currently has a wonderful lending library that we've been really blessed to borrow things from, and as well as donate things to. So I love to pass on things that I'm like, this didn't really work with us, but maybe we'll need it in the future. I pass it on to the lending library because I know I can always get it from there if I hadn't ended up changing my mind and wanting to use it in the future. We also do love to utilize our public library for any reading books, literature books, all of that stuff. I don't try to keep a lot of that stuff because I know how easy it is to access. So in my mind, it's pretty minimal. And in the future, it might be more minimal as we go through the younger stuff. It will get passed on. But for now, that's how we store our materials. So I'd love to hear in the comments below how you store your homeschooling materials. And if you're on a minimizing journey with your homeschooling materials, I would love to hear your story and how you've done it. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.